A pleasant day, everyone. I'm Zenaida Bantilan, and now we're on chapter 9 of our legal aspect in tourism and hospitality, which is the laws regulating travel and tour services. Our learning objectives are: first is to enumerate the procedure in setting up a travel agency. Next is to identify the responsibilities of a legitimate travel agencies or tour operator, and thirdly is to differentiate ethical from unethical practices by travel agencies and tour operators, and lastly is to give examples of issues, concerns, and problems travel agencies and tour operators may have in the conduct of their business. Law. Tour operator shall means an entity which may either be a single proprietorship or corporation regularly engaged in the business of extending to individuals, partnership, or groups such services pertaining to arrangement and bookings for transportation and or accommodation, handling and or conduct of inbound tours, whether or not for a fee, commission, or any form of tour guide shall mean an individual who guides tourists, both foreign and domestic, for a fee, commission, or any other form of lawful remuneration. So, a travel agency's covenant with its customer is to make travel arrangements in their behalf. A travel agency's services include procuring tickets and facilitating travel permits or visa, as well as booking customers for tour. The relation of a travel agency with respect to a common carrier is that it merely acts as an agent of the common carrier under Republic Act number 8239, also known as the Philippine Passport Act of 1996. Renewal of application for the issuance of passport may be filed by any licensed travel agency duly back accredited by the Department of Foreign Affairs, provided that the agent shall be responsible for the authenticity of the supporting documents being presented to meet the requirements for the application of passport. Accreditation of travel agencies and tour operators. The Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, and Section 5 provides for the minimum requirements for the accreditation and operation of a travel agency and or tour operators by the Department of Tourism. Take note of the investment limitation of foreigners in engaging as travel agencies or tour operators in the Philippines. The Section 2 talks about who may be able to apply for the accreditation, and Section 3 is the required documents that needed to be submitted. The Section 4 is the additional requirements for tour operators using a motor vehicle. No tour operator shall use any motor vehicle while conducting tours or transporting tourists unless such motor vehicle is accredited with the department and sporting a tourist plate. The Section 5 is the minimum accreditation under the International Air Transport Association. It accredits two distinctive types of travel agencies. First is the airline-appointed agencies holding ticket stock or capable of e-ticketing, and all other categories of travel agency called travel sales intermediary agency. Essential to both programs is a set of objectives with appropriate business standards that travel agency must airline-appointed services. When a travel agency is appointed by the airline through IATAN, the owner enters into an agency agreement with one or more of INTAN's 79 customer airlines. Each airline sets its own standard for appointing travel agencies, and each airline may select any number of appointment criteria. Travel agencies receive remuneration generally in the form of commission on the sale of air transportation services. The rate of commission is set between the individual agency and each airline. Any travel agency holding standard and or airline ticket stock or capable of e-ticketing may apply as IATA airline appointed agency. The standard for accreditation will be based on: first is the managerial qualifiers, second is the technical qualifiers, third is the premises, fourth is the financial capabilities, and fifth is the security standard. Now, let us talk about travel sales intermediary, or simply TSI. Is a business, proprietorship, partnership, or corporation that is engaged in the sale and or brokerage of travel and travel related services such as cruises, tours, hotels, car rentals, bus and rail transportation. TSIS do not hold airline agency appointment or issue airline tickets. Any business who wish to obtain accreditation by IATAN as an TSI is required to meet their accreditation of tour guides. In the Article 9, are the minimum requirements for accreditation as a tour guide by the Department of Tourism. It is vital that an accredited tour guide must have passed a seminar for tour guides duly conducted by the Department of Tourism of its duly authorized agencies. Responsibilities of business entities engaged in travel and tour services. Travel agencies needs to take necessary precaution by exercising prudence and due diligence at all times. Under the present state of the law, extraordinary diligence is not required in travel or tour contracts. However, the travel agency acting as a tour operator must nevertheless be held to strict accounting for contracted services considering the public interest and tourism, whether in the local or in the international scene. Moreover, a tour guide is supposed to attend to the routine need of the tourist, not only when the latter would ask for assistance, but at the moment such need became apparent. In other words, the tour guide, especially by the reason of his experience in previous tours, must be able to anticipate the possible needs and problems of the tourist instead of waiting for them to bring it to his attention. While this is obvious, it is the tour guide's duty to see to it that basic personal necessities such as soap, towel, and other daily amenities are provided by the hotel. It is also expected of such tour guide to see to it that the tourists are provided with sanitary surrounding and actively arrange for the medical attention in case of accidents, illness, or discomfort. Failure to exercise prudence and due diligence in the supervision of its employees may hold the tour operators liable for moral and exemplary damages by reason of anxiety caused to tourists, especially when misrepresentations were made on tour packages or by the reason of incompetence or lack of experience of tour guides who have not traveled yet in places of which tour packages are being offered. Against engaging in recruitment activities. Under Article 26 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, travel agencies prohibited to recruit. Travel agency and sales agency of airline companies are prohibited from engaging in the business of recruitment and placement of workers for overseas employments, whether for profit or not. In addition, the rules and regulations governing overseas employments provided for the following who are disqualified to participate in the recruitment and placement of Filipino working overseas. First is travel agencies and sales agencies of airline companies. Second are the officers or members of the board of any corporation or members in partnership engaging in the business of a travel agency. And third is the corporations and partnership when any of its officers, member of the board or partner is also an officer, member of the board or partners of a corporation or partnership engaged in the business of e-ticketing and e-commerce. E-ticketing or ET is one of the most significant opportunities to reduce cost and improve passenger convenience. It reduces ticket processing charges, eliminates the needs for paper, and allow greater flexibility to the passenger and the travel agent to make changes in the itinerary. Republic Act Number 8792 in June 14, 2000, also known as the Electronic Commerce Act, an electronic document refers to information or the representation of information, data, figures, symbols, or other modes of written expression described or however represented by which a right is established or an obligation extinguished or by which a fact may be proved and affirmed which is received, recorded, transmitted, stored, processed, retrieved, or produced electronically. The confirmation document and e-ticketing constitute an electronic document by which a right is established or an obligation is extinguished. It is already equivalent to a passage or airline ticket in a contract of carriage, which can be classified as the best evidence in proving that a contract of carriage exists. Consequently, electronic documents shall have the legal effect, validity, or enforceability as any other documents or legal writing, provided the said electronic documents maintain its integrity and reliability and can be authenticated so as to be usable for subsequent reference. For a beneficiary purpose, an electronic document shall be the functional equivalent of a written document under existing laws.